I just had the most incredible conversation with a lady. Her name is Holly Lavero. She has spent the last several years integrating her thoughts, feelings, and actions into the life that she knows she's here to live. She is a single mom. She used to be a manager at a donut shop. Now she is rocking the world with her company and her group, Ladies of Justice. And I want to share it with you. So please stick around, watch this video, watch her interview, and she's going to even talk about how her thoughts, feelings, and actions are affecting her family, her son's life in a really amazing way. So sit tight and enjoy, and I hope you find a little bit of inspiration in Holly's story.
So I was not in a good place mentally or physically. I was in a bad relationship. I was, just very down and depressed. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I knew that I wanted something different. I had just started working for a company that I could see the potential through them, but I didn't know where I fit because I did not know myself or, what I wanted in life. Um, Before I got started, I really didn't think about my future. Every time I thought about it, I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I know that I want to do something that isn't what I'm doing now, and I don't want to feel the ways that I'm feeling. And, I had started listening to Jim Rohn and Bob Proctor and, Tony Robbins. And when I heard more about Bob Proctor, and I had known about The Secret, my mom had shared The Secret with me when I was young. My brother's really into The Secret. So I knew about The Secret a bit. So I knew a bit about Bob Proctor. So when I heard, I got uh, offered to have a call with you and hear more about it and the programs that you guys do, I was like, I'd love to hear this because I think this has fallen into my lap at the perfect time that I needed it in my life.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're kind of open to hearing hearing what's coming at you that really you're truly being guided. So you jumped on that wagon and we got on a phone call, and I think we talked a couple of times before you just kind of realized that yes, I need to do this. So what was the deciding factor for you to decide that thinking into results was the journey for you?
I think when you went through a little bit of what the program was about and how, you would be right there with me, helping me every step of the way and being there, guidance and questions. And I knew I needed something like that. I know that, I was again in a place where I didn't think that I should do something like this or that I could afford it. But, it really was just at a point where I knew I needed to make a change. So I was like, I need to do anything to make that change. And I was like, I'm just, I prayed on it and I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take the leap of faith and I'm going to do it. And I couldn't be more happy that I did because it really has been just such a journey and it's been a process, but it's been such an amazing process and journey to where
Yeah,
we're
I want to
today.
hear all about your wins over the last 3 years, but I want to go back to before you even got on. You said you didn't even have a goal. Was your upline in your company, do they even talk about goals? Do they share with you what a goal is? Because I find like that's a big problem with all direct sales and network marketing companies is they don't actually even teach people what a dream or what a goal is. Was that the same for you?
So, thankfully, this company is totally the opposite than most. They
Good.
do educate big on, personal development. They're very big on personal development. And I came in this very foreign. I've never been showed the personal development path or even heard about self-help books or anything like that before I got with this company. What actually made me do the big change, because I was a Dunkin' Donuts manager for 9 years before I decided to make a change, is I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And that book changed my life. I read it twice within a couple months. And I'm like, all right, I need to step out. I need to make a change. I need to make a difference. And I ended up leaving Dunkin' Donuts, and I was working 4 jobs to substitute my income, but I was doing it around my schedule with my son. So I was making it like my own, but I was still working for other people. I was just working part-time in places where it fit in schedule that I could. So that was a step in the right direction, but I didn't know about entrepreneurship. I didn't know like how I could fit my life around something that I can do and be a sole proprietor of. So that's when my company was introduced to me a couple months later. And, I had looked into this company for over a month. I just kept watching the videos and I'm like, this seems so great, but like, I've never done anything like this before. I don't know if I could do this. Like, I still didn't know where I wanted to go. I still wasn't sure. And when I got in and I got plugged in and they were talking about that. One of the very first things that they teach us is, what do we want? And but I still couldn't see it. I still didn't know. I didn't really fully start to envision things until I went through this program.
Yeah. It's it is a process, and that's the thing with people trying to do it on their own. Very few can. And those that can, they've already done it.
Mm.
And I know you've heard these words from Bob Proctor probably as many times as I have, is if you would have done it on your if you could have done it on your own, you would have done it by now. We
Exactly.
truly do need help. And even when you have that desire to achieve like you had, you still weren't able to get there. So
Yeah,
you
I didn't
got
know what
in,
I
you
didn't
jumped
know.
in. Right? Exactly. It's so true. So once you began to know what you didn't know, so then you jumped in with your goal, and I remember your vision for your goal. Do you remember? Do you remember lesson one? Because I remember it so clearly.
My house?
Your house.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And when you got me to dig deep into my dream home and what I wanted it to look like, what I wanted it to feel like I started drawing it. And, you know, at first I still couldn't see it. Over time going through this, I remember one day you had us kind of meditating into our goal and you had us really trying to envision it. And this was the first time like I really could fully see myself in my home. And it made me cry. Like I remember just tears and tears coming. Like I can feel it happening right now because I can see myself in my new office space and with this new home. And like I can feel myself there. And that was something that I had never ever experienced before. Like I couldn't actually vision things, like even myself on stage. I could never have put myself in my brain, me on stage. And now it's just so clear the things that I want and desire, like I can see them so much clearer now. And
Mm.
that is definitely because of thinking into results.
And you can see yourself on stage now because you've been there. You created it. So
Yes, yes, and
that's
I've
really,
created that, yes, so I had
it's not even a
envisioned
future
it
memory.
before. I had envisioned it before that, and then it did come true, yes.
Yeah. So would you agree that it's true that if you can see it, if you can create it in your mind in the future, you can have it in your reality? Does
Absolutely,
that resonate with you? That
absolutely,
works, doesn't it?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And your house, even though you're not living in it just yet right now, it's a big, amazing, beautiful house. And I actually do remember when you shared with me your vision when you finally got it clear. And my memory is that we sat here and we cried together
Yep,
in this very Zoom room, and it was emotional, right? The connection, and not even just for you, and this is for anybody, right? It is about you, but how does it affect your children? How does it affect your family? How does it affect your confidence to go, whoa, I did this? And For me, the first time I bought a house on my own, it actually scared me. For me, I went through the thing that we talk about a lot called the terror barrier. It wasn't excitement and pride for me for a while. It was actually a terror barrier. But imagining buying that house, for me, it was driving off a car lot with a brand new car that nobody co-signed for. Like
Mm,
for me, that was like I did it,
yeah.
right? And for you, you've walked across the stage, you've had awards, right? And you won an award, top 10, right, in your
Yeah.
company
Top 10
really
millennial.
fast. How how long from when you started dreaming about being on stage until you were on stage receiving that award?
Probably about a year, maybe
About a
less.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no more than a year.
Nope.
Right, right. So I could talk about this, but what do you know about that time frame? Can you talk about that journey and from setting the goal to achieving it? What were the steps to getting there? And the law, of course, the law, because we talk about the universal laws a lot, the law of gestation. What did you do to speed that up? Because you know we can speed that up. How did you manifest that so fast?
I didn't even know that I manifested it until it was happening. Like, I had no idea that I was being recognized on stage. I had no idea that they were awarding me top 10 millennial of the company. I had no idea until I had gotten there. And it was just like an aha moment for me when that happened. I
Mhm.
was like, wow, like I did this. I manifested this. Like I brought this into my life, and like the journey was hard. The journey was, the consistency of saying every day where I wanted to be, and saying it as if I was there. There were days that I didn't believe it. It was hard for me to sit there and write it and say it to myself. But like the more I did it, the more I could feel it within me that like I deserve this, and that this is, who I am. And I was stepping into my power, and it was doing the daily things. Now, at the very beginning, I wasn't so consistent with it. But again, the law of gestation, you keep doing it, and you pretty much demand it to come forth. And when you can see it, when you fully believe it inside you, and you can feel it inside you, is when I think it comes to.
Mm-hmm. It is. That's that mental switch of going from forcing it to happen to just knowing it's coming and just letting it come. And
Yes.
it's hard to teach that. And I have to admit that myself. You can't teach somebody to just allow it to come. It's like, oh, I got to get on stage. How do I get on stage? Oh my God, I got to get 10 more people. And da, 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 da. But you know what? If you just every day do your work, do your 6 things every day, do the goals, do the affirmations, do the work, do the studying, understand where you're in your way today and get out of
Yeah.
your way and just allow it.
Yeah. It's
And
like the
that's when it
sweet dish.
happens.
Yeah.
And
It's those
and
little things you do every day that
yeah,
compound over time, that,
yeah.
determine, routines, and, habits, and,
Hmm.
bringing forth the, the good, and
Yeah. And the thing also is to kind of grasp onto a little bit, maybe then for some people it's like that if you were thinking about what stage you're going to be on and what award you're going to get, you may have been working towards something else and you would have missed this one. You just
Mhm.
wanted to be on stage, you wanted to be recognized, you wanted to go, I did this, and then you just go to work and you let the universe do its work. It's when we
Exactly.
force it, when we tell the universe how it's going to do it, and it's bringing it to us the most convenient way possible. And we don't know. Again, if you'd have known how, you would have done it. So stop trying to figure it out, right? So,
And it's
yeah.
easy to fall back into things too, when you think you fully got something going, and then it's easy to fall
Hmm.
back into old ways or ways of thinking. It's just again that daily reminder, like, of who I am, what I want, where I'm going, and just knowing that eventually it will come, and not being so hard on yourself and not being like, why is it not here now? Because there were so many
Yeah.
times that I did that, like I feel like I should be further along, but this is my journey. Like I'm here in this spot for a reason. And I know it's so hard to see that in the moment, but in hindsight, it's just like, wow, I needed to be there, and I needed to
Mhm.
do these hard things day in and day out to, just know that it was going to come, and just again, like you said, just let it go, let it have faith that it will come to you, and just but have that goal in mind, this is what I want, and to focus on it and to believe it, that it is coming. And it's that belief that it will come no matter what. You may not know how or when, but you just got to believe that it will happen, and it will.
And it will, because truly, if you can't see it in your mind, you can have it. You can have it in your reality. So through our 6 months together, that's how long thinking into results is. Your son hopped on board a little bit too, and you were showing me the other day you found a book. How did your son fit into this, and what did his just being in the background watching you go through this process, how did that change
It's so cute.
him? It
So
is. I love this. That's why I asked. I love the story.
he's just so sweet. And when he saw me doing, my gratefuls every day, my affirmations, and just writing every day, I was like, he was always interested, wondering what I was doing, listening to the affirmations with me. And I was like, all right, why don't we get you to start doing this? And, he would every morning. We made it part of his morning routine. He would write out his gratefuls, and he would do his kid affirmations, YouTube channel. They have kid affirmations and stuff. So we'd find one, and he stopped doing it about last year, but he started again this year, which I, back when we had done it together, and I recently just found his book of the entire 6 months, and I was like, wow, it's almost a whole book, a whole notebook, comp book, full of his, gratefuls and stuff. And I could see it in his heart, you know. Um, he's just always been such a sweet boy, and I want the best for him, and I know that he is destined for big things. And like, I know that if he can believe in himself, which I know it's very hard for kids nowadays, and I can even see it in him struggling again, not believing in himself. So I feel like this getting him into something like this, and then really being able to get that belief in himself back, has been just very beneficial to him, not only myself, so.
Yeah, yeah. That's beautiful. And I'm glad that he started doing that again, and you were talking about
He wasn't
you're
too
jumping into it
happy to
again.
try to do it again, and, like, me putting
Yeah.
it back into his morning routine, but I'm like, "You're gonna thank me again one day. You used to love doing this. You're gonna love it again." And I was
Yeah.
like, "And when
Yeah.
you get older, you're gonna be like, 'Mom, thank you.' Thank you
Yeah.
for doing this, thank you for always guiding me that,
Yeah.
I'm doing this for him. Everything that I do is for him, and I know what we've come from, and I don't want that for him. So, I want him to be in the better mindset and to fully understand our mind now from what I knew back then. Like, it's just pressing more to, try and help him and try to get him to understand these things at a younger age. Because if he understands TIR at his, at a teenage years, there's
Hmm.
no telling what he'll accomplish, when he becomes a young adult. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. You're an amazing mom. Thank you
thank you.
for doing
I
that for him.
try.
And you're right. He is an adorable kid. I know he pops in sometimes when we're talking and says, "Hi, Auntie Connie." So I love that. I love that. So, yeah, I know he's destined for great things. He's doing a little bit of acting and stuff. So that's adorable. Why do people engage and want to have a better life, and they begin a course to have a better life, and they say yes, yet they don't do the work? What is that
What just
about?
came
And
to me is
how can you share?
I feel like when it comes to self-help and bettering your own life, one, it's very hard for people. And people with something that's like the course for free, I think when they think free, they're like, oh, a free 5-day course. That's awesome. Yeah, I want to take this. Yes, I want to learn about this. Yeah, I want to do it. But in their mind, something to it is free. So they can miss it. They don't have to take it. Now, when they pay for a course and they're ready to, they say, yes, I'm gonna do this course, they're more apt to put more time and effort, and having that support and accountability, I feel like is crucial to people. I think accountability is crucial to people because people let life get in the way too much. Even if they want something so badly, they'll still let life get in the way and make excuses. And, talking from experience myself, but like it happens, and it can be frustrating, 'cause you could be like, why am I doing this again? Like I know better, but it's just like something psychologically, um, that if it's free, everybody wants to take these free courses, everybody wants to do it, but then they don't do it, or they don't participate, or because they're like, oh, I can catch a replay, or, oh, like, it's, I'll catch it tomorrow, or another time that a free one comes around or something like that, and I think, people really need to get out of their own way and just, take on what they truly desire and help themselves, because there's nobody coming to save us.
Yeah, exactly. And when I was, a lot of people know my story about when I was broke and homeless and living on an air mattress on the floor of a room. And that was my whole thing was I was like kind of I was being ticked off with the world that nobody was coming to save me. But one day I just realized nobody's coming to save me.
Yeah.
AKA, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
My life is gonna keep sucking until I do something about it. I
Mhm.
got myself into the mess. I made the wrong choices. I got to get myself out of it. And unfortunately and fortunately, money is an accountability partner. As much as people don't know that, when people pay for something, they do it.
Mhm.
They're more likely to do it. Now, I've had people pay me a lot of money and not show up, and I can't crack the code on that, and that's on them. But it definitely is money is the accountability. Now, in your journey, how you've come so far now, and you're still going through the material, you have a team of your own, you're successful in your Ladies of Justice business, you're leaps and bounds, and I know you're going to be in that house really soon. What is your daily routine now? When you get up in the morning, now that you know what you know and you have the goals and the visions, walk us through. We don't need your whole day necessarily, but in the morning, because the morning
Yeah,
is really the most important time for our minds to absorb this before we even pick up our cell phone. What's your morning routine like, Holly?
and it really is, and I didn't fully understand how powerful a morning routine was until the last year or 2, and I saw it within when I went through TIR because, again, we have the morning, stuff that we need to do, and then the night stuff that we need to do. And that, kind of started with my morning routine that got me getting up and doing my affirmations or my gratefuls, and just doing the worksheets and stuff because I found doing them in the morning helped me, just launch my day. And now today, like, I, you know, some days slip, but I notice, like, if I don't do my morning routine, my whole day is off. So what I usually do is I get up and I don't even look at my phone anymore in the morning. Like, that is one thing that I think is crucial to people, because as soon as you get up and you start scrolling, you're letting the outside world take control. And you don't even realize it half the time that it is emotionally developing you for your day. And so what I do is, I make a cup of coffee, I do my gratefuls, I might listen to something, but I write. I write in the morning, And, and then I get my son up, I help him with his morning routine. We do a prayer together, we do affirmations together, and then I get him on the bus. And then I usually get out and I either walk or I go to the gym. And then I have a mastermind every Monday through Friday at 8 in the morning to 9:30 in the morning. And that really helps ignite my entire day. And then, I just kind of launch from there and start my work and develop my day the way that I desire.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, keep up the good work, Holly. Thank you so much for your time. You're amazing. I always love talking to you. And here's to many more years of us hanging out together and having great conversations. Thank you. And for anybody that wants to look at my programs, thinking of Into Results, which was the 6-month program that Holly did, my website's connieann.com. You can just pop over there and you can book a call with me. You can look at other things. I have a free training on there. Don't know if I told you about that, Holly. It's an affirmation writing workshop that I did. And so people can click
Oh,
on that.
you're looking at that. Yeah. And
Speaking of
definitely, if you're not going to
affirmations,
do it, even if you're not even considering the program, like yet, like just having the conversation with Connie might completely change your mind. Like just having that conversation to see if you're intrigued in any way, have the conversation.
yeah, it's worth a talk. Thank you, Holly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.